We're gonna autofocus, I guess, because that's.
No, your camera autofocus.
I guess that's what's been going on the the last few episodes. So hang with us and maybe we can get that worked out.
Your camera.
Yeah, well, you know, things happen. So I was just telling the Mississippi Madman about how Monday Night Raw went off and how great the Ric Flair segment was, up until the point that Batista decided to attack Flair. And I thought they missed a great opportunity to have the locker room to show they really do care about Ric Flair. Because, I mean, I'd like to think that if I was getting beat down and 100 of my closest friends were standing mere 30 feet away from me, they would come help me. But not the Raw locker room. They're all like, yeah, hey, where'd Flair go again? Rick, your music play, bro. Where you at?
Well, he is kind of old. It might take him a minute.
So, thankfully, Triple H is his only friend. And after about 5 minutes of him getting beat up on screen with everybody watching, Triple H finally realized what happened. Was like, oh, I better, Rick! So he starts running. I'll save you! And he runs up through a sea of wrestlers who are still like, where that old Ric Flair at? Man, I thought he was going to be over this party. I'm ready to eat some cake. Where that old Flair at? So Triple H finally runs through the crowd of wrestlers and through the back and past some more officials and stuff, just sitting there like, what's up, man? Yeah, Flair's down there getting beat up. Yeah, right on down there. So, yeah, it was pretty horrible.
I didn't write it.
Other than that, I thought Raw was really good. I really enjoyed Raw. What little bit I saw, I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched a lot of the beginning. I checked out Roman coming back and his speech, and you know, thankfully he is his leukemia is in remission, so that's cool. I really dug the Revival versus Ricochet and Aleister Black. That was really cool.
Really?
Super cool that Aleister Black is now walking the left-hand path. Absolutely. That's his gimmick. That's what they're saying on Raw, is that he walks the left-hand path. And so Zombie Dragon and Eric Silva and you guys, kudos for bringing Aleister Black to the group. So
y'all bigger names than I thought y'all was.
I knew WWE watched Ego and stole all our stuff, and that's just proof. So yeah, so Aleister Black now walking the left-hand path along with Zombie and Silva and the rest of those guys. So Matthias Darkthorn has definitely been networking and bringing in some recruits. So cool deal for him.
Probably like your hat.
Yeah, it could have been the hat. So look for Matthias to be walking Aleister Black to the ring any day now.
Oh, I like that.
So super cool for that fact. But yeah, overall, I thought it was cool. Cody Vance and some of the other One Fall students and guys, they were on Raw. They got to arrest Becky Lynch, and I really dig the Stone Cold kind of feel they're giving Becky.
They tried.
Well, I think it's, you know, it's the same, but it's fresh because it's on a girl, you know.
Yeah,
so
it's like 20 years ago.
Yeah, well, most fans now don't remember.
Saying,
you know,
I agree. Yeah.
So I really dig the idea that they're gonna have this women's WrestleMania main event, and
I just wish it wouldn't have 3-way.
Well, it's cool because like Ronda basically called out Steph and said, "Do the right thing, make Becky a part of this match," and she laid the feet.
Charlotte out and put her with Asuka.
Well, anyway, she said, make it a triple threat. Get, you know, if you and your father, y'all think y'all are making the big moves and things, make this move. And she laid the women's belt at Stephanie's feet and walked off. So everybody's like, what does this mean? So I think it just means that, hey, I'm your champion, make this match. So I dig it, man. I think it's cool. I think it's cool that Charlotte's going to kind of be that chosen one that gets everything she wants, and Becky's going to be that rebel, and Ronda's just trying to put them over on her way out. So super cool.
Some rebel without a cause, and I'm back.
Yeah. Good. But I dug it. I mean, I really think it's awesome. But there's a lot of good stuff on Raw. Like I said, I did not see all of it. I saw a lot of the beginning and all of the end. There's about 45 minutes there I missed in the middle. As
3 hours, it's not hard to miss something.
Yeah, you know, work happens, and you know, I have more than one job, so I have to do things. So it was cool, but I know you didn't get to see it. But what do you think with all the guys just standing there looking around and Ric Flair's getting beat down and nobody helps him? Like, do you not think it was a missed opportunity?
Here's your, you know why Horn didn't help him? They fired his ass. So there was his best friend. He don't work here no more, so he's gone.
Man, I'm laughing with him, not against him.
Well, they might have thought because if they helped him, he might get your ass fired. So
well, it could be, but the boss is running back there to help. So I mean, why would you think?
He's like the assistant boss.
The same thing.
But like you don't fire the assistant boss.
Yeah, I got you. But yeah, I just thought like it would have been a cool thing for like Batista, like to end with like the whole locker room chasing Batista out of the building. You know what I mean? Like
coulda, woulda, shoulda, but they didn't.
Yeah, they definitely didn't, and it definitely made for a bad ending. I mean, I was
legend. Everybody
I watched it,
and nobody helped him.
Yeah, I mean, I really went in watching as a fan. And I wasn't gonna be like, oh, this is wrong and that's wrong and that's wrong. But this was just one of those things like you couldn't help but not notice it. You know, now had like how the crowd of wrestlers not been standing on stage, maybe it would have been okay. You know what I mean? But the fact that everybody's here to honor Ric Flair, they see Flair in trouble, and everybody's like, are we still gonna get cake? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it was pretty rough. So
it's blatant. You got to talk about it,
right? And I mean that's the only thing I really have to say negative about it. I mean, my kids, you know, like I wasn't gonna watch it, and they were in the other room watching. They were like, "Roman's back!" So it made a lot of noise. So I was like, "Well, let me just see it." We wasn't watching anything anyway, and so I flipped it over, and I was like, "Okay, it's cool. I'll just give it a little bit." And I was like, "If it's bad, I'll just find something else to watch." And it wasn't bad, you know. Like I really enjoyed it. So. You know, if you go there looking for something to hate, you'll find it.
No,
but if you go to be entertained as a fan and quit pretending we know everything, then you can be a fan. You know, I think for like my kids' generation, like I think Roman is their Ultimate Warrior, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I think Cena's their Hogan and Roman's their Ultimate Warrior, and I don't think that's a bad thing. You know, I know a lot of people give both those guys crap, but those characters are not for adults. You know what I mean? Those Hogan and Warrior was not for the 35-year-old male. You know what I mean? So I mean, for us to criticize something that's not meant for us, like us going, you know, that Hubba Bubba really ain't that great. You know, last time I had a blow pop, it was better than this. Like, blow pops aren't for adults. You know what I mean? Crack, that's for adults, not blow pops.
I have a question for you. You talked about Hogan for a sec. What's the guy's name? Plays Thor.
Yeah, that guy.
You know he's supposed to play Hogan in a movie?
I heard, but I don't know either.
Yeah, that's legit.
The picture came up, and everybody's like, I can't believe they're picking him. And I was like, who's this guy?
He's Thor.
I had no idea.
He's but he's not, I don't know. It just, to me, he isn't big enough.
Yeah, wrong dude for sure.
Yeah,
but I mean,
too small, man.
He may have been the only guy that would. They might have asked 100 other guys.
There's just other people that would fit the size category.
Well, how do you know they didn't turn it down, though?
Well, they may have, but right now he's also probably one of the most popular, you know, actors in the world. But he
Thor is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know who he was.
Yeah,
so should have got Bruce Willis. That's a real actor.
There you go. He's about to, you know, in his 70s or something. I don't know how old he is, honestly. I like Bruce Willis, but he couldn't be Hulk Hogan, you know. But I just thought it was the wrong pick.
Yeah, I get like when I saw it, like I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but it didn't feel like
he's way too small.
Yeah, especially I mean, I guess if you're Hogan in 2019, maybe you could make it work. But like if you're Hogan in his heyday, Hogan was a monster.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He was
like. Shoot, you probably would have been better having Batista be Hogan than, you know, at least it would have.
That was one of the people I thought of.
At least there is a similar, or, you know.
Him or Cena would have been the two I would think of first, honestly.
I mean, get freaking Vin Diesel or somebody with some pythons, you know. Yeah. I mean, this may, I saw one picture of the guy, I didn't know who he was. He may be jacked, I don't know. But,
he's big, but he's not that big.
Yeah. But yes, I don't know, man. Just, the picture just didn't make a lot of sense to me, so. But I did watch a good bit of wrestling. I know you watched some as well. We both watched the last 2 episodes of MLW.
I watched like part of one and the full episode of the last.
Okay, so let's go back 2 weeks ago, and I'll just read out the results. You tell me if you saw the match.
I only saw one match in the whole.
All right, Ace Austin beat Rich Swann.
Nope.
Okay, that was cool. Rich is going through a bit of an identity crisis. Like he's still trying to be
heel,
he's turning into a bad guy, and Ace Austin got the win. And you ever watched a match and you're like, I don't think that was supposed to be the way this match ended. this was that
I
match.
seen a couple of rumbles like that for sure.
Ace hit I don't know if it was a backwards frog splash or just a backwards splash. Remnants of our old buddy Phil the Drill over in Japan.
Okay.
So shout out to Phil. Ace Austin is doing a version of your backwards frog splash. But he hit it, and it was like 1, 2, 3, and it was like I don't.
Oops.
And then
I've won one of the matches like that.
So Ace now Rich didn't kick out. Like, it wasn't the referee's fault. And you know, I don't know if that's supposed to be like the moment that set Rich off or whatever, but it was definitely that feeling of like we done something wrong.
Wow.
And so Ace got up and he's like, "Yay, I won!" And Rich is just laying there for like 30 or 40 seconds, just like, you know, like
screwed up.
So
he may not have heard the hits.
He may not. So I mean, I don't blame the ref at all. The ref done his job. I mean, they may have wanted it to feel this way. You know,
possible.
I mean, I don't know.
I was in a match one time and I kicked that on 3, and it even showed it on video, but the referee
didn't see it.
Swore to God, he's like, "You didn't kick out."
Yeah.
And then we go back to the video. He's like, "Oh, you really did kick out." I was like, "I told you."
Well, Rich didn't kick out,
Yeah,
so there's no ifs, ands, or buts. But it was a good match. I'm impressed with Ace Austin, and Ace is debuting on Impact. So
cool.
It's very cool. He's going to be in more than one place. Then we got to see the debut of Alex Hammerstone. This is the guy that probably should have been Hogan.
Really?
Oh yeah, and he's wrestling Ariel Dominguez, who is probably just a tad bit bigger than Marco Stunt. So with that being said, Alex Hammerstone looked that much more like a monster. Big, jacked up guy, like not.
Sapolsky must have picked him out.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
like not jacked up in the point that you know, he looks like, you know, Brian Cage or somebody, but just a massive human being. You know, like he could probably be like Braun Strowman's little brother. You know, like he's a big dude. But yeah, he killed poor Ariel Dominguez. So. And then our main event was Teddy Hart.
That's the only match
and
I saw.
MJF. What I really liked about this match was MJF is like, you know what? Y'all want to see Teddy do all this crazy stuff? Not today. Headlock City, buddy. And for the first 7 or 8 minutes of the match, it was Headlock City.
It really was.
And I was like, you know what? That's awesome. I mean, that's really cool. And then Teddy done like 852 spectacular maneuvers that should have killed MJF. And you know, finally we get like a ref
did
bump.
Like a really messed up version of the backstabber.
Yeah. Very cool ref bump coming out of the Canadian Destroyer. I really dug that. I mean, if you're going to bump the ref, let's you be unique about it.
They bumped him. They killed that poor bastard.
So, but at the end of the day, Teddy Hart defeated MJF. And then MJF and Richard Holliday attacked Teddy. And I understand why Richard Holliday is with MJF, but this guy gives the worst beatdown ever.
Really?
Like,
they hit him with a plastic garbage can, didn't they? Yeah. At least he didn't sell it. I will say
the only thing he really
went
sold was like,
you know, because like it hit him in the side of the head, and that would suck regardless.
Like Teddy sold like, you broke my rib, because he hit him right off the bat with a chair in the ribs.
Yeah,
so that's the only thing Teddy actually sold. But Teddy took the door like a champ. I mean, I thought he was going to go through the door. But overall, I mean, they got the point across. It was just, thankfully, Teddy doesn't sell nothing. So Richard Holliday's offense wasn't that.
I love how he goes to start off the interview with the girl. Honey, I'm blowed up. Or wore out or something to that extent.
But overall, that episode was better than the last couple episodes we talked about.
I fell asleep at the beginning because I just did a 10-hour damn day.
Yeah.
I woke up and there was a match. I was like, oh crap, I missed the first part.
So I really enjoyed it. And then, like this week's episode, we got to see Rich Swann again. He took on Lance Anawana.
He was Sika's grandson.
Yeah. He's a big dude.
Looks like Sika if you look at him.
Yeah, like he's a big kid. But it was a cool finish. He missed the 450. And Swann just rolled him up, put his feet on the ropes. Yeah. Like, it was a cool finish. And, you know, that just goes to show Rich is turning it to a heel. He's a bad guy. So, very cool. And then we saw a guy I know you're going to be impressed with.
Yeah,
Oh, Manser.
I liked him.
promos are way better than actual in ring
I
to
don't
me.
know. I like both.
But his in ring wasn't bad. Like I say, I poke God, boom. So it's real cool. I mean, he wasn't nothing fancy.
No, but it worked. Everything he did worked.
I mean, he come out looking like a cross between Bunkhouse Buck and Chainsaw Charlie.
That's what I said.
So
he had that. He had the Southern brawl.
yeah, I mean,
And he's the Southern Psycho.
yeah, I
so.
mean, he's lariats and light beer and master of the eye poke and.
I love that he hits light poke, eye poke,
Yeah.
light poke.
Faked the eye, slid out, and he turned around. He goes, "Here it comes!" Boop.
And the fans start chanting, "One more time!"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, one more time!"
Yeah.
And then he turns around and pokes his ass again.
So it was cool.
I like how he said that with a regal knee, and
Yeah.
then he did the hilarious.
I like it. He has his knee pad down already. He goes, knee pad up, dramatic pause, knee pad down. So the dude's catchy. Like whether he can work or not, like whether you're a fan of what he does in the ring, he's a character you can be like, that guy, I like him. You know,
that's what I do.
He reminds me of Rick Morgan. If Rick Morgan would embrace the fact that he was the Southern Psycho,
Yep.
you know, he never embraced it. He wanted to be someone else.
Triple H want to be Chuck.
Yeah. And, you know, instead of embracing your roots, he tried to hide them. And to me, Manser has embraced them. And, you know, he's definitely going to turn into the redneck warrior. So, I dig it, man. I dig the old Manser. I've seen him for a little while. Saw him in Pro Wrestling Freedom. And then I've seen him in IWA Mid-South. And then in AIW, he's been up there. So I'm glad that he's actually getting on a bigger spot. You know, so kudos to Manser. Just goes to show you, hey, you put the work in, you can get there.
I think his character's what's getting him out there.
That's 100%. It's because his match is very, very basic. Yeah,
Well, the board was awesome.
Yeah, he had one the week before where he's in the parking lot and he's standing in front of an 18-wheeler. He's like, I rented that big boy for the weekend, and see that right there? And it's an old like piece of crap car. He's like, just bought it, gonna come back get it in a couple weeks. So like. He's really like into the character, and it's entertaining. His character is what's got him there. It's not his match. His matches are very, very basic, but basic works when you're super entertaining.
I didn't see any botches.
Well, right, that's what I'm saying. Basic works when you're super
I'd rather
entertaining.
see basic than botches.
So overall, MLW, you know, they're back on track. You know, maybe there's that big show. Maybe they had, you know, we had too much expectation that it was going to be better, or whatever. But hey. You know, it's back on track, so let's keep watching it.
Main event, Aerostar and Ray something.
Yeah, that's it. Aerostar versus Ray Horse. Ray Horse is like the cousin of Rey Mysterio. And then Aerostar, you know him from Lucha Underground, which you know both of those guys from Lucha Underground if you watch it. And, you know, they went out there and did, you know, Lucha which... You know, if you're like, what is Lucha? Lucha is every high spot you've ever seen in one match. Mm-hmm. That's what they did. And
no, their finish was actually the move that broke Edge's neck.
Oh, was it? So, yeah, they did like a...
Edge was too tall to do it, and he didn't get his head all the way under. And that's what...
I forgot what they called it, and I know it's like something special. Insert wrestler's
like
name here.
Roll,
yeah, but it's like a modified victory roll. Mm-hmm. Instead of on the shoulders,
you're under the arms.
It's under the arms, and it was done off the top rope.
Top rope,
which is the second rope in today's standards.
Because I rewound it just to make sure, because like I say, that's literally how Edge broke his neck. Because it looked like he landed on his.
But super cool.
He got under.
Super cool finish. You know. I see Ray Horse doing big things.
Did you think Ray was going to win? Or did you think Aerostar was going to win?
I'm a big fan of Aerostar.
I thought Aerostar was
like, I think Aerostar is that guy from Lucha Underground that everybody should have got behind and nobody did. So, I mean, to me, the things he do is way better than everybody else's. But that's just me.
Yeah, he do things real good.
Yeah, he does it real good. So, does it with a capital S. But I think it was cool, you know. But yeah, so overall, it was good, man. I got no complaints.
The last 2 weeks was way better than the one that we saw before.
Yeah. Then I watched Ring of Honor, and I'll just quickly do this because, you know, it's been a long time. I want you to talk about the show you watched. Madison Rain beat Sumi Sakai and Jenny Rose. So and just kind of put her in the runnings to face Kelly Klein for the Women's of Honor title. I can't speak today.
Wait, who's winning?
Madison Rain.
Madison. Okay.
It was a triple threat. Sumi Sakai and Jenny Rose, and Madison won the match. Really good match. And then we get kind of a showcase match. We got Lifeblood versus Jay Lethal's handpicked Honor Squad.
Okay.
If you want to see counter wrestling, these guys wrestled for I can't speak, man. They counter wrestled for probably 10 minutes, and I mean just avoid move, like it was great counter wrestling.
You avoiding English?
It's I'm trying to get into my old Manser ways, so me and Manser don't talk really well.
Need about 9 light beers.
So that's kind of what we got. And overall, like Mark Haskins made Dalton Castle tap out, but the teams were Lifeblood was Juice Robinson, Mark Haskins, Tracy Williams, Bandito, and David Finley. And then Jay Lethal brung out Jonathan Gresham, Dalton Castle, Flip Gordon, and Jeff Cobb. So 2 very cool teams.
Jesus.
And yeah, it was a 20-minute match probably. And like I say, for the first 10, these guys just showcased each other. You know, like it was counter wrestling, like the Code of Honor was upheld. They would do a big spot and then help a guy up or whatever. And then it got violent and you got the dives and all that kind of stuff. But it was a real cool way to showcase those guys. I felt like Mark Haskins was the right guy to win.
Mm-hmm.
I felt Dalton Castle was the right guy to lose because out of all the guys, Dalton refused to uphold the honor and shake the hands and stuff. So it all made sense. So way to go, Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
All right, and then you watched Chi-Town Rumble, right?
I watched the main event.
The main event. So go ahead and throw out some info on that.
It's just Ric Flair versus Ricky Steamboat. Well, no, Steamboat won the NWA belt. And it was JR and
Magnum TA.
Magnum TA. I can't keep his name in my head. To call in the match. And it just was, I don't know, it was one of those great matches. If you watch it, I don't know, I just wanted to watch it.
What was the finish? I've never seen it. What was the finish?
God, what was the finish? I'm trying to remember. Because it was a ref bump, but I know, I'm trying to remember what it was.
Okay.
It was a ref bump, and then I think it was just a simple like a roll up.
Okay.
And out come another ref, and they took a pin.
Dusty finish.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
it was.
So that was cool.
But, it was a lot of false fans.
Yeah.
It's 20 or 30 minutes long. It's it's a pretty good match.
That's kind of cool that, you know, you watch that match, we're talking about it, and then that was one of the opponents that they put over for Flair, you know, for the Raw thing, was they brought out Steamboat, they brought out Sting. So very cool.
Got Sting was there?
Yeah. Like I said, it was an awesome moment. Like, I was getting excited because, like, yeah, you know, this is so cool for Flair. Blah, blah. And I'm not complaining about the Batista thing. I'm not complaining they used Flair's birthday to set something up. I just thought, on paper, it was really good. Once you've done it, you're like, oh, man, we should have added a little more to that. But overall, very cool matches. You know, very cool week of wrestling, I guess. And
I would have had Batista beat up all the old guys.
Yeah, you know. But to close this out, this Saturday, March 2nd, Simpson County SmackDown. Pro Wrestling Ego is going to Magee, Mississippi. Be our debut there. Huge main event. Cody Vance takes on JD Jenkins. And if you're a Cody Vance fan, you may have seen him on Raw arresting Becky Lynch. So, you know, kudos to that guy for being on Raw in whatever spot you can get. And, you know, he got his face on TV, which is always an important thing. If you're going to be an extra, be the extra on camera, you know. And Cody was front and center. And, you know, hopefully he can use that same force to take on JD Jenkins. Because JD Jenkins is a full-time beast, and you're going to need it, Cody. So, yeah, it's very cool. Also, Simpson County SmackDown Women's Wrestling, we're trying to incorporate more women's wrestling in Ego events, and we've got Thunder Blonde coming in to take on Bristol Hale. So all you women's wrestling fans, you've been messaging us asking us, hey, when y'all going to have women's wrestling? Well, March 2nd, that's when we're going to have it at the Magee High School. Yeah, so looking forward to that. A lot of big matches, man. Like we are showing out, and hopefully to make this thing a big thing in Magee. So that's March 2nd, Simpson County SmackDown. Main event, Cody Vance, JD Jenkins, women's wrestling. come see us, check us out, support Pro Wrestling the Ego, support our sponsors, Norville Chiropractic Clinic. If you need your back cracked, they can do it. If Lancer's lariat didn't work, then Norville can fix you up, as well as No Limit Combatives. Yeah,
Jiu-jitsu.
that's right. Yeah, No Limit Jiu-Jitsu over in Flowwood. So check those guys out. Judy Chop. So, hey guys, Ego on break. See you next week.